Alright, y'all, my voice is chopped. It's early in the morning. Well, not super early, but it's early the fuck enough. And my voice is chopped, so no song. You know what mama said, dude. So we finna get into a message from your shadow self. So we finna get straight into part number one. I'm gonna tell y'all like this here. I was really procrastinating doing this reading. Part one. I really was. Cause this is serious. Serious business. We got the 10 of Wands. We got the 9 of Swords coming out. We got the Sun here. So some of you guys are living in your shadow world. You're living in your shadow energy. You are refusing to come out to the light. So you guys could be in a functional depression. People don't know what a functional depression is. And a functional depression is that scary state before somebody decides to completely become a drug addict full time. What's the worst that could happen? To completely off themselves. What's the worst that can happen? Well, traumatizing everybody around you that cared about you that didn't know you were going through this. So your shadow self is letting you know that, and you got 2 10s. Your shadow self needs letting you know you need to wrap this shit up. Wrap this sad shit up. I ain't gonna even lie. My worst fear growing up was becoming a single mom. That came true. And guess what? I cried about it. I cried it day and night. But I had to tell myself, bitch, you need to wrap this shit up. And guess what? The same time that I got introduced to tarot, they were telling me the same shit. You need to wrap this up. You need to end this cycle. And they were telling me, you are going to end this cycle. You are going to wrap this shit up. And I was like, how the fuck am I going to wrap this shit up? And guess what? I wrapped the shit up. It's wrapped the fuck up. It's wrapped up tight. Matter of fact, it got weights on it. It's in the lake. Somewhere. So, it's other thing. And the thing is, you have to do that to all the things that, it's like, I'm not saying that, you have to suppress, because that's when your shadow self grows, because that's what you've been doing. You've been suppressing. You're going to have to encounter this situation. You're going to have to kill this situation, and then you must clean the situation up to where it seems as if that situation never occurred. I went through a lot of childhood trauma, and I had to wrap that shit up. And like I be telling people that be traumatizing their kids and then talking about why they acting the way they acting. Well, maybe it's because you traumatizing the fuck out of them. You're not teaching them no type of emotional boundaries. I be telling my daughter, you cry so freaking much. You're so sensitive. You need to stop crying so much. Some people may think that's insensitive. But I understand that it's just she's mad she can't get her way. She want to cuss me out, but she can't. Wrap it up. Okay? It's really time for it to go. Some of you guys are overthinkers. That's me. It's time to wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? It's time to wrap out all the limitations. It's giving, y'all gotta listen to smoke good, eat good, live good, and I do this for my city. Got the Hennessy and my niggas with me. Post leave, tell me holler if you with me. That's poor man's dream when he talking about the only limitations is the ones I placed upon myself. Don't place no limitations on yourself. As a child, my first manifestation was traveling out the country. I had made straight A's. It really was because it was some shit that was going on at home. I chose not to focus on that. I chose to focus on my schoolwork. I chose to focus on school, and I actually had classes, teachers, and I was focused. I was engaged. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? It was a point. They made a point for, our teachers was cool. I ain't gonna even cap. We was in the country, but we had some pretty cool ass teachers. No cap. So, like, it just did that. And then this trip came up, and I was like, why not? I asked about it. And guess what? It happened. You know what I'm saying? Something told me in my heart to ask for it, to do it, to not let this opportunity pass me, and it changed me, for real. Like, it made me who I was today. I feel like I probably would have been on a different path. You know what I'm saying? It really itched the wanderlust in my brain to be able to do that. And, to come back to a trap system, to come back to a matrix, it put me on a journey of figuring it out. So I feel like a message from your shadow self is the way you wrap it up is by figuring it out. You need to do the plan. You need to understand that you're not planning for no reason. You need to see what you're doing, right? Sometimes I feel like I graduated in 2016. No, I'm lying. No, I'm not. I graduated in 2016. I've been out of school for 10 years. And I really haven't, to me, in my mind, I really haven't done anything. But in my mind, I know I've done stuff. It's just not something that is a finished product. It's verses in the Bible that say, don't start on nothing new. Keep finishing what you started, because ain't nobody started that type of work. You started it, finish it. Some of you guys, you're on your path right now. And some of you guys are wanting to be in a commitment. Some of you guys are feeling like the time is passing you up to be in a commitment. Everybody that you know is married. Everybody that you know have kids. Everybody that you feel like, they're living the best life. And I feel like the comparison shit is something that you need to wrap the fuck up. Okay? When you start comparing yourself to other people, one thing I know is a person that doesn't compare themselves to other people, they don't let other people's situation just affect them. You know what I'm saying? I've been in situations where I knew it didn't affect me and that I could leave whenever I wanted to. I was there because of that person, or I was there because of a certain situation or a certain thing, and I knew that wasn't me, right? And I knew that if that's what that person agreed with and that's what they wanted, that was them and that wasn't me. When you encounter people who compare themselves so much, you have to understand they're restless, okay? That's why your mind be spinning. You over fucking thinking. Your spirit, your shadow self wants to tell you that you have a lot of unnecessary commentary in your mind that you need to cut the fuck out. Whatever this person is wearing is not your business. However this person is treating their child, sadly enough, is not your business. Unless it's harmful, deadly, call the police. But other than that, it's not your business, right? Let me see what else. That's pretty much it. Like, Spirit is saying that other people's business is not your business. If your homegirl telling you about her situation with her man each and every fucking day, it's not your business to give a fuck about it. Honestly, it's when she call you, give a fuck about it. When she hang up the phone, leave it alone. And if she take up too much time telling you about it, you need to let her know, hey, I gotta call you back because there's other shit that I could be doing. Productivity matters in my life. Right? I'm not, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's a lot of shit in your life that you're allowing. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of shit in your life that, you're used to allowing. You're used to entertaining. And that's your shadow. That's what your shadow self has to say. Your shadow self is like, you're not getting no money. Your shadow self is a bully. I want to let you know that. Your shadow self is a bully. And judgment is coming out in your reading. Your shadow self is a bully. Your shadow self do not play about, and your shadow self equally is saying you judge other people, but you don't live up to the standard that you judge other people. It's like your shadow self says that you are sneaky. Your shadow self says that you hide a lot of things, or you make sure that, people don't know certain things about you because you would be embarrassed the way you try to embarrass other people. And I've encountered that with certain people, and I make it a point to embarrass myself. I make it a point to be transparent in the most embarrassing situations, because people like that need to know that it's okay to be human, because people like that have probably grown up in households that are too strict to where they feel like they have to wear a mask. And then some people who feel like they have to be so transparent, they'll wind up wearing a mask because they feel like they're so transparent, their normal self is boring. You see what I'm saying? So you guys, you got a lot of work to do when it comes to your shadow self. The good thing about that is I'm willing to do the work and ask the questions and get to the rooty tooty of what's going on, because I am a buffer. I am a mutual party between you and whatever energy is around you. So we just get into it. I feel like a lot of you guys could also benefit in a nice deep clean. Some of you guys have stagnant energy within your home. You have stagnant energy within your energy. You guys have people around you that been needed to get from around you. And as I said that, I'm looking at the Ace of Swords, sneaky ass energy at that. You have people here that see you, put you on a pedestal because of how you judge people. And that pedestal is too high for you. It's getting you woozy. You're getting dizzy. You're not made for that. And I'm not saying that you're not made to be on a pedestal. I'm really honestly saying that you're not made you're not at that level to where you have adapted to being at that level. It's some people over time, they found their routine, they found their regimen. You're not there yet, so you're faking it essentially for some of you guys. And if that's not you, go to another pile. But that's the vibe that I'm getting from your shadow self. Your shadow self is really like, some of you guys could have thoughts, like racing thoughts, and feeling like everybody's falling in love, but I'm falling behind. Like, y'all could be feeling like that because your shadow self is really crucial. Your shadow self don't play. I know you got a mouth on you. I know you a Tia Kemp. Tia Kemp, you can't never catch Tia Kemp slipping because Tia Kemp knows she talk a lot of shit. And if you talk a lot of shit, you can't burn out. And that's something that you need to know too. I hope you guys stay to the end of this reading because your spirit self, I need them on the weekends when I'm going to the gym. Your shadow self be on the motherfucking ass. But y'all, be kind to yourself. Don't forget that. Y'all like, share, subscribe, and I'm going to see y'all later. Alright, pile 2, let's get into your shadow self. I'm already a little creeped out, but when I seen this picture, I had to pick it. I know somebody's like, why would she do that? I don't even know. It's just done. It's just, spirit was not playing. Just do it. Okay? We have the fortune teller here. And I'm going to tell you, I knew this type of energy was going to come out because I ain't going to even hold you. This is my pile. And I feel like what it is, if y'all ain't never seen Eve's Bayou, you got to watch. See, Eve's Bayou is the type of movie you have to watch it several times, but in different perspectives, watching different characters. Eve's Bayou is a movie that you really, character analyzation. Film, I know they analyzed it in film school because it's so many key factors, it's so many questions unanswered when it comes to Eve's Bayou. Because Eve's Bayou, let's talk, okay, when you watch that movie, this gonna make sense to you. But Eve's Bayou, with the focus being on the aunt, so Eve is the daughter of the doctor, Samuel L. Jackson. So you have to focus on his sister. His sister is a medium, a at-home medium, right? But everybody don't know she a medium. But, she do it at home. You know what I'm saying? And she told, don't be telling my business if you up in here. She told Eve that. But, mind you, it's another psychic-esque, but she's not a traditional. Well, I don't even lie. She is the traditional psychic, but she's non-traditional. She's a more psychic that you can swallow, like a tarot reader on YouTube type of energy. She's not a African spiritualist with the paint on their face, and that's how this one was depicted. Essentially, they did the same shit, right? But she saw her as a wild woman. In my mind, she looked down upon her, and I think that woman did speak about that because her sister-in-law, because I told you that was her brother. Her sister-in-law wanted a reading, and she told her sister-in-law the same shit. And it's crazy because why didn't the sister-in-law entrust her to do that? But, boom, that's what I said all of that to say this. The medium, the psychic that was doing it at home, she had her own shit that she was running from, which was the fact that every husband that she got died. She was essentially a black widow. Okay? And the spiritualist played in her face with that and said that, every man you get die. You already know that. Like, she played the fuck out of her face, and the woman was mad at her because she was like, you sitting down and talk to me to tell you what you already fucking know. Like, she really played in her face. And I feel like, sometimes it's certain things as a spiritualist. I said all that to say, it's certain things as a spiritualist that's hard to accept. Wanting love, but knowing that what you do is not the practice, that you can't just you have to sacrifice. You can't have it all, right? Because being a medium, being a psychic, you have this type of protection where you always have what you need, right? And you may not always have what you want, and you always know that it's a sacrifice in getting what you want, right? It's always a sacrifice. You have a good, loving family that's not hateful towards you. You only could have space in your heart for a few loves at a time, right? Your family already gonna die, And in my mind, it was just like, That was her sacrifice. So some of you guys, y'all are looking at the same sacrifice. Y'all can't find love the way you want to find love. You can't be understood the way you want to be understood. And if you know, in the movie, she was really having a lustful relation. She was a lustful woman. Right? Lustful women want love, but when they get love, what do? You lust after another man. She was once married. She was in a lustful relationship with another man, and he killed her husband and walked out on her because she chose her husband. Okay, very messy, very messy. So some of you guys, y'all have to understand that you cannot have your cake and eat it too. That's a message from your shadow self, because it's things that are not in alignment for you that you are wanting. It's things that are not in alignment with you that you're not seeing, or you're refusing to see why it's not in alignment for you. I can't have a man in my house. I'm not comfortable with that because of the way my energy is. I need to know that the water is clear. I need to know that it's peace in the water. I need to know that whatever I'm feeling is not affecting what I'm doing for you guys. I can't do that at this time. I have to know that they understand what I do and it's serious. I can't have no infected energy. I sense very quickly what some infected ass energy. It's not hard. What is in the heart proceeds out of the fucking mouth. We got the Six of Pentacles. Breadcrumbs. Some of you guys need to stop accepting breadcrumbs from men that you could easily conquer. Some of you guys are playing, y'all are playing with y'all food when it comes to some of these men. And I'm not saying you should be a man eater. I'm not promoting that. I'm not promoting it. That sounded like I did. But that's what it's giving me. You have the capacity mentally, emotionally, really mentally and emotionally to conquer these people, to conquer this man. Part two, you really have to step it up when it comes to if you are going to be in a relationship. But I feel like what it is you see it as a challenge, and that's exactly what it is. You see, when you find a man that's on your level, it comes as a challenge because it's like, what do you know? What don't you know? And then they're challenged to, what do you know? What don't you know? And then it's a competition, right? So you have to find your footing. Your spirit side is saying, you have a lot, you're doing well, but you're wanting love, but it's like you cannot. If you're going to be a feminine, you have to understand that you have to be in the feminine's position. You cannot dominate your man as a feminine unless he's dominating you in a feminine role. And you are playing a masculine role, but you're staying in your feminine place, and that's hard to do at times. There's only one woman that I know that is doing that, and her man is not gay. It's only one woman, and I don't know her. I don't know her stuff. People say she in a lavender relationship. That man is not lavender. He does what he does well for his wife because he loves his wife. His wife was already making money. He said that he'll be willing to do that. She said she wasn't leaving her job. He said, well, shoot, somebody got to be the woman. I'll be the manliest woman I could be. And he did that. No cap. He looks good. We got the Seven of Cups here. So you have a lot of options. It's up to you. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. It comes with sacrifice. Sacrifice is something that is scary to you. Because you're like, what? Sacrificing a lot of pleasure, sacrificing it. And honestly, a good sacrifice is a sacrifice that you know is going to hurt you. I'm not even gonna lie, that's the best sacrifice, because that sacrifice is going to lead to good stability, good blessings, because you gave God your best. You didn't give God the least, because understand, God has everything. And that's the thing about this shadow self shit, because the shadow self means that you're if your shadow self has a lot to say, your shadow self, you've been feeding your shadow self. And not saying you shouldn't feed your shadow self, but your shadow self exists so you can have peace in your day-to-day, right? You go to your shadow self when you have time to yourself, right? When you're at peace with yourself, or when you need time to yourself, right? Your everyday light self is the self that you show everybody, the self that you want to present as, even when when you're not in your shadow self, it's the person that you want to be, right? It's your stability. It's, okay, it's enough of being in my mind. Let me close the door and come out of the open, right? This is who I am, right? I have one thing about me. I show my shadow self. I don't hide my shadow self. I show her, and I don't care. And that's something that you have to understand. When it comes to a relationship, you need to be with somebody who accepts your light self and your shadow self and knows that it's a difference. Because I feel like what's happening is you're encountering people who only accept your light self, only accept your shadow self. So when you change, they feel as if you're a different person. They feel like, you're not being honest. You're being sneaky. You're masking yourself. And in a way you are, but it's because you didn't show them enough. You know what I'm saying? Because your shadow self is saying that you're fearing who you are. Because that's what this fear is. You're fearing who you are in maybe in a negative sense. Because some people refuse to acknowledge who they are in a negative sense. Some people only acknowledge who they are in the positive sense. So when they become the person who is shadowed or a person who is negative, they start to get mad. They start to get angry because people are seeing them in a light that they don't want to show. But we are human. Everything is not perfect all the time. And honestly, when you show people that everything is not perfect all the time, it allows people to be honest with themselves. It allows people to say, you know what, if this person can do it, I can do it. It gives people strength. It gives people courage. A lot of times people say people are fearful or people are scared. That's scared. They're doing it even in spite of the fear, in spite of not knowing whether it's going to go right. That's where your faith begins at. Like, your shadow self is really saying that you're putting a lot of shit in the shadows that could easily be resolved. Okay? And I'm getting a notification as I'm saying that. So y'all definitely share, y'all definitely subscribe. Let me know how that related. And I'm gonna see you guys later. Pile 3. Let's get into it. A message from your shadow self. Pile 3. A message for pile 3 from their shadow self. Spirit, connect. It's interesting because this card is the color of this person's eyes. You are connected. And you got a 6 and a 6. You are very balanced with your shadow self. You're very balanced with your shadow self. It's definitely giving me the Collins. But it is giving me the Collins. Because the Collins were vampires that walked in the light. Right? So yeah, it's definitely giving me that. And they didn't drink human blood, I believe. I don't know. I have to watch Twilight again. But I can't get through it because I go to sleep. The aesthetic is too good. We got the 5 of Wands here. You wrestle with your shadow self often. The thing what people don't understand, balance is never balanced. It's as balanced as it can get. Homeostasis, like, it changes. When your body is a different temperature in the wintertime than it'll be in the summertime. You're going to sweat differently. People don't understand the balance. Balance looks differently at different times of life. I literally just spoke on this in another reading, and I cannot think of which one. But I just spoke on this. Because at the end of the day, you have to, if you are a type C person, you understand that being a type A person only matters when you're around type A people. You understand that if you're not around type A people, you can comfortably be a type B person. You understand that if you don't have any pressing obligations at home, i.e. you're single, no kids, i.e. you're grown, your kids are grown, they can clean up, they choose not to clean up, and they know you go to work and work 40 hours, that's they ass. They need a dish, they better wash it and get it. I understand that. That's what you have to understand, that you have to understand it, because it doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter if people that you consider type A people see you as a type B person, even though you're in your type A energy. It does not matter. It does not matter if you are a type A person, but because life is beating your ass down, people that are around you type A are seeing you slip into a type B personality, forcing you to having to adapt to being a type C personality, which is a person that knows how to compartmentalize what at what time they need to exhibit a percentage of this amount of energy. One thing about it, at my job, I'm not going to give the same amount of energy I give a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, my best. Makeup, hair, not playing. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, when I know that it's going to be slow, nobody coming in, I'm not finna do that. I'm finna be in my stock room clothes. Period, point blank. Because I know how to manage my time. Not only that, but I'm going to try to get most of my sleep because I know I'm going to use most of my energy during the day. Do you understand me? I know y'all do, because that's the type of vibe you're in. You're in go mode. You're in beast mode. That's why you came off as the Collins. Because looking at them, you can't tell me they can't pop nothing off. If I looking at the Collins, not knowing who they are, not really looking at them, baby, you can't tell me they'll pop nothing off. Baby, they'll been pop my arm. You got the Oracle of Pentacles. The money is the motive. The money is the motive with you. Y'all moving silence like lasagna. Like, it's definitely giving me, like, y'all working hard. Y'all doing what y'all need to do. You taking the blows right now. I feel like your shadow self is telling you that. I feel like your shadow self is also, like, you're very spiritual. You get messages. Your shadow self is giving you hints that people are talking about you or talking about what you're going through in other settings that you're not in. I remember. It's something about that. But it's making you money. You're very balanced. Like, people, definitely people will talk about you in a room that you're not in because they're not really ready to take your energy. They're not ready to take anything that they're dishing out, because they're like, if I'm looking at them, I don't know how hard they're looking at me. I don't want them to say something that that's gonna make me feel the type of way that I'm trying to make them feel. So I feel like a message from your shadow self is that you're really doing a good job at balancing yourself. You're really a balanced person, because I definitely get that people are provoking you in your group, in your day to day. I definitely see you trying to keep a balance. You're making a good effort. One thing about God, and I love that he's like this, is he really sees everything. Like, we are never alone. Everybody, the reason why the book of life is a thing, the reason why, the reason why God presents himself as is because he really did all the homework. Like, everybody has their own spirit team. People's spirit teams communicate. How do you think I'm getting these messages? And then on top of that, if you have a strong spirit team, you have archangels in your spirit team. You have access to a lot of knowledge, right? We have the 4 cups in your reading, so it's letting me know that it's a lot of balance in your deck. A lot of balance. I definitely see the pull from like I said, a pull from people, but it's a lot of balance. Regardless of the 10, I feel like the 10 of Swords, in a way, it's like you are done. You are over with the situation. The situation is depleting. But I feel like the 10 of Swords, just because you're there mentally doesn't mean you have to be there emotionally. Meaning that if you emotionally feel like you can still fight, and I feel like a lot of times you are emotionally able to push through and make your mental click, like, we're not ending this. Like, it's really beautiful to see, like, your shadow self sees you as a complete beast. Your shadow self is in full cooperation with whatever you got going on. Like, one thing about it with me, like, even though I'm asleep, I'm not asleep. I'm working too. Like, and honestly, God do give me grace. I don't work the whole time I'm asleep. I end up working the last couple minutes of me being asleep, and I just get my ass up. We got the 9 of Swords coming out. Yeah, some of you guys are going to be very used to going through the motions of the balancing. It's stressful, but again, with the 10 of Swords coming out and then you're going to the 9 of Swords, you're going to go to the extreme and then you're going to backtrack. Your mental is going to be burnt out and then you're going to rejuvenate. You're going to regroup. You got the Chariot, so it's definitely a lot of motion. You also got the 2 of Cups. So I feel like your shadow self is commending you, because in your personal life you really don't allow yourself to be tempted as much. Some of you guys do allow yourself to be tempted, but some of y'all keep a good balance with what needs to be cut off or what needs to be put in place when it comes to your relationships. I'm definitely getting that. Like, it's definitely giving me somebody who is telling the person, hey, this is what it is and this is what it ain't. This is what you can expect. This is what you cannot expect. Do you agree with that? All right, we can do something. It's definitely giving me that. I feel like it's definitely a respectable vibe. Like your spirit team or your shadow spirit team, or however it goes. I definitely feel like it's a lot of respect here, just because of the simple fact that that it was so much balance present in your present. Damn, I can't talk. Present in your reading. Not only that, but I don't know. I'm really just getting like the messages to really keep on going, like to not fizzle out. Definitely don't do that. Elder of Pentacles, you're meant to have a lot. For me to reference you as the Collins, one thing you got to know about vampires is because they've been living so long, they're wealthy. They didn't live so long, they didn't found their niche. They didn't work here, they didn't work there. Some of you guys, you're meant to be on that type of esque, right? Yeah, you're meant to be on that type of esque. You're meant to be on some, I did this for 4 years. I did this for 3 years. I did this for 6 months. But that 6 months is going to feel like a year. You know what I'm saying? That year is going to feel like 3 years, because you're going to be going through the motions. It's going to be like a raw orientation, right? You're in a lot of different places. You're receiving a lot of different information at the same time, pile 3. So congratulations for whatever else you're going to accomplish, because having a balanced spirit team, a balanced shadow self and light self, chef's kiss, baby. Like, share, subscribe, and I'm going to see y'all later. Let's get into pile 4. Pile 4, a message from your shadow self. Burning out, baby. You're burning out. Some of you guys are angry burnout. Yeah, some of you guys could be thinking about moving jobs. But, maybe that the workforce is not hiring right now, or they're not hiring like that. Some of y'all could be in a situation with, hubby, bae, and it's not going good. You're in need of a new beginning. You're in need of a new start, but I feel like you're looking for it in the wrong place. Some of you guys need to really, hold on, y'all. Let me see something real quick. Some of y'all really need to balance y'all selves when it comes to what you want to do. You need to sit down, write down positive outcomes and the negative outcomes of whatever you're going through, and you need to look at what matters too, because it's giving me like some of you guys are rushing or making bad decisions or continually staying in a decision that's getting worse and worse. It's kind of like when you have fruit sitting on the counter and you see that one fruit kind of getting bad, but instead of throwing it away, maybe you start doing something. Maybe you notice it and something else catches your attention. You do something else, and before you look at it again, the other one's been infected. And maybe then you'll be like, let me take this and this and that out, and you may notice that it's other ones that are infected. It's kind of giving me that vibe, like it's an energy of like you're not noticing something that could be happening, some foul shit that could be happening under your nose. Maybe your spirit team is catching it, but maybe when they send you the messages, you're not, your shadow self is like, you're not paying attention. You're not focusing, right? Some of y'all could be mad because you're like, I feel so stupid. I should have listened to this. I should have listened to that. Like, it's like definitely giving me that type of energy. But it's definitely like giving me like, you're allowing it though. Like, you're allowing it. Some of you got, a lot of times I've noticed like when women feel like they got the last key, they don't, y'all, it's like Welcome to Derry when she found that little that piece of that shell, that piece of that little thing that the thing came in, and she was there like, let us hold it. No, know, it's like, bitch, damn, be cool. Be cool. It ain't even your shit. Like, damn. Like, it's definitely giving me that. Like, somebody, it's like, and then I done been in this situation. Man, let me tell you something. I done seen this situation happen with a lady, like, a couple years ago. I gave her a ring, right? And she asked me to do some work for her so she can leave a man alone because she think the man is having threesomes with another lady and her husband, and she feel like it been going on for a long time. Then she said the man a little slow or whatever, and I was like, all right. So I told her what to do. You know, I ain't have to do nothing. I told her what to do, and it ended up happening that day. Okay, first off, I didn't see where she benefited in the situation, but she was like, oh, I don't claim this anymore. I don't like this. I hate that we did this. I hate you did this for me. Mind you, I didn't offer it. She asked. She asked about that. She asked what I do. And I told her, I mean, I do a little this, I do a little that. You know, it depends. It like, really, when I hear it, it's going to let me know whether I can do it or not. It's going to be a simple yes or no as soon as I hear it. So it's crazy that, you know, she got her result and she rebuked the result. Mind you, you know, her circumstance in the past from that time to this time or whatever, her situation hasn't changed with this person, meaning that was her breakthrough right there. That's why she received it so quick, because in my mind, I don't even hold you. The work that I didn't even work that quick for me personally. So for it to work that quick for her, it must have been something that she always needed to ask for. So boom, for her to go back into that situation and that agreement, you know, you locked down. It's a wrap. And some of y'all need to understand that you don't have to be wrapped down with this person. This person is manipulating you with emotions, but they're not coming with the money that you need them to come with. It's always an excuse when it comes to the money. They always want to do the little, I love you, do the little play, I'm bae, do the little videos, do the little hee ha ha in public shit. But when it comes to the chochos, when it comes to you actually relaxing, when it comes to you, you know, not burning out, not feeling like you stretched thin, they're not there for you. And I feel like some of you guys are mad at other people, but you need to be mad at the people that's, you know, putting you through this. I feel like you're not showing them enough anger, but you're showing people that it don't have nothing to do with anger. Right? And that's where you need to start healing it right there. That's where you need to find strength at. Because a lot of times people do give their abusers a lot more slack than they give other people. Because in a way, and this is why they call it a trauma bond, because we got the Knight of Pentacles coming out here. Because in a way, it's giving you know, they know me better than, you know me, you know, and that's a iffy vibe to be in, you know, especially with your abuser, because then that's how you know you're bonded, because you feel like your abuser can do no wrong. And that's where now that's the fucked up part. And a lot of women and men alike, you know, they will accept, you know, being in this victim abuser mentality to the point where, and sometimes they will take on abuser characteristics. They will make the abuser feel like the victim, and then at the same time even more so lock them in, because the abuser now feels as if, boom, now we locked in, because I can say you abused me because I did abuse you, but I didn't abuse you the way you abused me. Now you comparing abuse when at the end of the day it's wrong, right? So your shadow self really got a lot to say. Your shadow self saying you need to pack it up, saying you need to unpack it, you need to throw some shit away, and then you need to repack it up and don't do that shit no more. So y'all like, share, subscribe. Let me know how y'all felt about this. I don't really do this type of reading. I don't really even think I've done this type of reading. Shout out to the beautiful girl that requested this. Definitely shout out to you. Definitely comment, you know, claim your read in the comments. And I'm gonna see y'all later.